All right, so before we begin, let's hop into something super important. There's going to be a link below for a Nike ID or Nike by You giveaway done by yours truly. The point of the contest is for you to design your own favorite Air Max using Nike by You. I'm going to send you that pair that you designed, and then I'm going to send myself a pair, and I'm going to review it on this channel. Hit the link below and you'll have all the information you need to enter, and good luck to those that will enter. What is up, everybody? It is Lawrence again, and today we have the release for the Air Max Day 2020. Typically for the last 3-4 years, Nike has released a new silhouette for the Air Max line in some way, shape, or form. Some of the notable releases, I believe, were in 2017, they created the Vapor Max, which is here. In 2018, I believe it was the 720, which is right here. And I do have the 720 still, Aurora, and that's somewhere in my closet somewhere, and I just don't have the time to find it. But I've pretty much always gotten a pair of the release colorways. So this is the OG, it's the first Vapor Max ever released in conjunction with the Triple Black. And this photo blue one actually was early access before Air Max Day, before they fully launched the product. And this was done in a photo blue with all black. I don't think they released this one again. But today we have the Air Max 2090. So I actually have both colorways that were released that day, at least for men. This is the, I believe, platinum tint or something like that here. And then you also have the duck camo. I'm going to be reviewing the duck camo one just because that one is, well, there's just less reviews of it. There are other reviews of the platinum version out there already. There are some differences, and I'll definitely tell you what those are in a second. So some of the history behind the 2090. The 2090 was basically a project to bring the infamous Air Max 90, which is about 30 years old this year, into the new age of the 2000s. So that's why 2090 is the model number. And the idea was to keep as much of that classic, iconic silhouette as they possibly could, while bringing everything that they could with new technology, new formats, new textiles, all that type of stuff into what we would wear today with a modern silhouette. And I think that they did a phenomenal job. I actually do not like this duck camo colorway, but I think they did a phenomenal job with the silhouette itself. But let's get into it and start with the upper like we always do. So over here at the very front of it, you're going to see a hyperfuse that is done in the front for the toe guard. For the mud guard of the 2090, you can see it's over here. It's actually done in a nubuck color and it's double stitch, which is interesting because the other version is not done in a nubuck. It's done in a kind of rubbery, plasticky textile. And so on both the lateral side as well as medial side, you actually have a nubuck on there. And then the parts of the shoe that are in the middle and the toe box area that extends into the cord panel is a piece of mesh. So it's a clear black mesh, and underneath you can see in the lighting that there is duck camo inside. What is interesting is that if you kind of go into the tongue itself, if you can take a look at that, it's actually camo on the inside. I'm not sure how well you guys can see that. Then there's more fuse, so the fuse goes along the toe laces. Then there's also exposed stitching, so you can see exposed stitching here, done in the infrared color. And then kind of going up to the top here, you have a mesh tongue that has a kind of really weird cutout done in plastic in that infrared color, and you can see that over there with the symbols. It also has that air, or that cut off air. I call them the macaroni logo. Honestly, this new logo is making me want to eat penne alla vodka so badly. If anyone has a link to a great recipe, leave that in the comments below. Or if you want to send me some seamless, go right ahead. The tongue itself is relatively padded, but it's not too padded, which sometimes it's a little annoying. What is good about the padded and the rigidity of this specific model is that more than likely it's going to hold the tongue in place, which is great. You have the back, which obviously is inspired by the Air Max 90, which has a very similar rubber panel. Over here, this is actually like a TPU-based type of material over here. And if you can't see it, the air and a Nike swoosh is hidden in the back of it. And the back heel has a very, very iconic look, which is basically extension of that iconic Air Max 90 air bubble into the back. So it extends it into the back and basically enhances the air bubble substantially to probably like an air bubble that's close to the size, somewhere between an Air Max 200 and an Air Max 270. And I really like that design cue. Obviously, it's a hark back into that Air Max 90 lineage. Then in the front of the shoe is some type of foam. I don't know exactly what type of foam, but it's probably React, but they don't call it React. Maybe it's just to not distract from the shoe itself, but it feels amazing. Then on the bottom of the shoe, you actually have a very interesting pattern. So the half over here at the front of the foot is very reminiscent of the sole of the Air Max 90. The back of it looks almost exactly like the 270. So it's interesting to see that they kind of added both of these guys together. It's actually very similar from a tooling perspective, at least in my mind, but it's a much more stable version of it, of the 270 React. And that 270 React has a much bigger air bubble. This actually might be all air bubble, I'm not sure, but it's caged out in the back. And this shoe is definitely more stable than the 270, and that weird rocking motion of the 270 doesn't exist in the shoe, which is amazing. So what are my thoughts on this shoe? The Air Max 2090 silhouette I absolutely love. I just love everything about it. The only thing I don't love is probably the macaroni logo, which says Air over there. I just don't think it's that great of an addition. I really wish they would have just used the word Air, just because. Not really sure why they did that. In terms of this version, which is the duck camo, I'm just not into the camo look. I also am not into the color blocking of this, where it's all black and everything else. One thing about the camo version is it comes with other accessories that the platinum version didn't. So there's a pink lace over here, or the infrared lace over here. Then you have the black lace over here, and then finally you actually get a Nike Air hang tag, which is kind of cool. But there is no Nike Air hang tag that comes with the platinum version. In terms of comfort, I have absolutely, I really like these a lot for comfort. There's nothing that I would probably change on the bottom of the sole. The upper is pretty good. I could say that, like, if it was a knit upper, it would probably be better. I'm just a huge fan of knit uppers, but for the most part, it fits really, really well. There's nothing about this shoe that I do not like. From a fit perspective, it's also very easy to walk in. The heel-toe transition is great. It's not too, it's both soft and springy at the same time. It's exactly what you want from a modern day shoe. So I think from where the Air Max 270 was for all-day comfort, you're going to have a very similar feel with this. In all actuality, I really do feel like this silhouette, just looking at the tooling and really what it looks like, it basically looks like the cross between an Air Max 270 and an Air Max 90. Is really how I look at it. You can see that these silhouettes look very, very similar when you put them on top of each other. Even the air bubbles and the foam that's in the front. I know the foam over here is not React on the 720 version, but pretty much the same shoe. So this, I would say, the 2090 is more of an upgraded version of the 270, which I'm not mad at. From a sizing perspective, I went true to size with these, and I would definitely continue going true to size. There's no, these actually for me fit perfectly. There's just enough toe space for me to be comfortable and snug, but not too snug. And that's it, guys. Are you guys excited for any of the new Air Max 2090 colorways that will be coming out? I actually was on Nike.com a little earlier today, and they already have a new black version. That's I think a triple black, or either all black with a white sole, and then a silver platinum version, silver white version that looks pretty sleek and clean as well. And I really think Nike has a hit here. If you have any questions about the shoe itself, definitely leave them in the comments below. But until next time, this is the Air Max 270 done in the duck camo colorway. Peace.